going to get two things out of the way today. We're going to do some slicer bread, so 2 white loaves of bread, and then I'm going to make a traditional dinner dish. We're going to make PIROSHKI'S, which I should be done with it hopefully in a couple of hours or so. The boys are going to be super excited because they're right now working on the processing kitchen. I haven't made PIROSHKI'S in years, so this is pretty exciting. We're going to make it pretty traditional. It's going to be burger, mashed potatoes. I'm going to put some cheese and some onion in there and a bunch of seasonings. I got my potatoes chopped, and I'm going to make just a small amount of mashed potatoes. The burger I'm going to use is actually our deer that we had from a couple of years ago, and we put beef suet when we process the meat, so it actually tastes pretty close to beef. It's just a little leaner. So that's what we're up to today. I'm going to just put this on time lapse and get to work. For Christmas, we actually got some of our towels that's going to probably go into our kitchen, but I thought, oh, that would be a really nice towel to have covering our bread. And it says, I don't want none unless you got buns, hun. And if you're a 90s kid, you know exactly what that means. So I'm going to go ahead and cover my bread, and then we're going to get right into the PIROSHKI'S as well. That's kind of a funny one. Spooning leads to forking. Ha. Anyway, it's pretty fun. I have a few of these. I'm excited. These are beautiful towels that we got from my sister-in-law. Now that I have all the ingredients kind of sitting out for 30 minutes to 40 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and start making my dough, because the dough has to rise again for quite a bit of time. And I'm going to do it in waves where the bread's rising and then I can cook it. The other dough is rising and I can cook in between and make sure that I kind of combine my cooking together. When all my kids were at home and I was going through school, I used to make up to 8 loaves every weekend just so I can have enough bread, and that saved me a lot of money. And now I do it for the purpose of just having fresh bread. So it's kind of it's an easy skill to obtain and to keep, and it's a good one to have for a family. Okay, so the mashed potatoes are done. There's a gazillion ways to cook mashed potatoes, so I always just put sour cream, butter, salt, nothing too much with it. I am going to go ahead and start browning the onions and cooking the meat. I should have garlic. I should have grown it this year, but I don't have any. So these are just from my garden. The potatoes are from our garden. I'm going to just season it with a bunch of seasonings, and that should be good. I'll add some cheese. So it'll be potato, mashed potato, cheese, deer meat that's seasoned really good, and some onions that are kind of, I'll cook them first before I put them in with the beef. Okay, so my meat mixture is all finished. I'm going to let it cool probably right here on the stove. I still have an hour before my PIROSHKI dough is ready. However, my my bread is like completely doubled and it was just going really good. So I just like, okay, this is good. This bowl, I think, wonder if anybody's been curious. We actually have our homemade lard, and I use the lard in the bread and in the deer meat. So I'm just letting it kind of melt off the edges so then I can clean the bowl and then pour it back into the deer meat. Right now we're working really hard on getting the processing kitchen done, so I could spend a day there. We'll have internet there. I could bring my laptop and do my homework there too, and bake, and not just bake like a little bit, but bake a lot. But we need hot water. We need to be able to bleach things and clean things and so on. So without hot water, it's just hard to do. So the bread just got done. We're going to pull the loaves out. It looks like one is bigger than the other, and that's fine. And what I like to do with my bread is I usually will put some butter over it, just because it'll give it just a nice taste. Okay, I just pulled out the dough for the PIROSHKI'S, and I'm actually going to cut them so I have 12 mostly even pieces, and then I'll roll them out into a flat area and then fill them in and then squeeze them and put them together on a baking sheet. So that's kind of how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use one of my knives. Well, I might just make 8 piroshkis instead of 12. I don't know if my recipe, I'm not satisfied with the dough. However, I had to take away, like, it doubled, it still did its thing, so, but I'm not quite, like, super impressed with the dough recipe that I had. This dough rose just fine, but it feels tough, and I know that it should feel somewhat tough, but I don't know. There's something different. Like, once you've made them before, you know what it should feel like, and I'm not sure if I'm quite satisfied yet. Anyway, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to get these kneaded more, 1 or 2 minutes. Gonna roll them out, put my filling in, and get them ready for baking. Okay, I take it back. The dough was actually quite nice to work with, and you stretch it, it doesn't tear. So it was just like perfect, and I was able to stuff these. I'm talking like to the max, and then just pull the dough over it and close them up into like a little blanket, and it kind of worked out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the oven and get them cooking. It's been a couple of years since you've had one, huh? It's big. It's good.
Very tasty.
And you've already dug into the bread. Mark isn't home yet. He's still working in the shop, but what do you think?
Very tasty.
What do you think of the dough?
Oh.
I thought the dough was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good dough, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It turned out good. Okay, well, the final test is Mark, so we'll see what he says. I'm sure he'll love it.
Oh, they're bigger than I expected.
Well,
that's okay.
Yeah,
I
was trying to divide them into so I can have 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I think these are not big enough. So I made them bigger like that. Everest already had 2. Logan had 1. I had 1. So the rest you can have.
Ooh. Mashed potatoes and burger.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Ooh, it smells good. The roll has like a nice... That's good.
You like it?
Sweet relish on there was just right.
Yeah, it's pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. And then the bread.
Can I get 60 of these?
Well, if you can give me 30 ornaments.
I mean, I think we delivered, so now it's time for a fair exchange, right? They're nice.
Yeah, they're pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The dough was actually kind of hard to work with. I was like kind of mad at first, but then I started stretching it, and it stretched over the meat and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm not mad.
No, it made
This
nice.
is pretty good. Yeah.
They formed up good. It'd be really good if you do the recipe that you typically do. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
The carrots, celery, cabbage, and meat. Oh.
Yeah.
But that's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It tasted like my grandma's. When I tasted it, I was like, this is something my grandma would make.
Nice.
Yeah, very traditional.
Well, did you only made 12, you said?
I made 8.
You made 8?
Yeah.
Oh. So you definitely don't have any leftovers.
No, not today.
No, there's 1 here, 2 more there, and those won't be here for another 20 minutes.
No, sir.